All right, we're gonna begin this meeting. First item on the agenda is a welcome. So I wanted to welcome everyone to our initial organizational meeting of the Fire EMS Executive Board. This came about from the interlocal that the town and township entered this year. Want to talk a little bit about the history of this real quick. There has been fire and EMS for many, many decades in the Middletown, Fall Creek area. The fire department started in 1896. The ambulance service was begun in 1974. This fire territory board is kind of a culmination of the partnership between the different groups. Earlier this year, we had those votes with the town council and the township board to establish this. So I'm serving in that. All represent on the fire executive board. The township board appointee may be a member of the township board or otherwise qualified resident of the township, and they will act as the township board's representative on the executive board. The township board's appointee must reside in the is my they are both town council members. Any participant may recall, replace, or appoint a different executive board member for their unit as the need arises for any cause at all, unless a specific elected official serves on the executive board. Based on my elected position. A fifth at-large member of the executive board shall be selected by the combined members of the department and EMS. This member shall be identified and qualified to serve within 30 days of the organizational meeting of the executive board. We were notified that the fire and EMS elected Danita Chambliss to serve as their representative. The interlocal says an ideal candidate will have education or experience in public finance, first response, construction, property insurance, or other related fields beneficial to the operation of the territory. Danita has served as an EMT. She's served as an elected official, clerk treasurer, so she definitely is qualified in several different ways. She was also one of the original founders of the ambulance service back in 1974. So she's been with this experience from the beginning.
I was 12 years old, but I was smart.
This selection may not be a present volunteer or paid member of the department or EMS, vendor, or contractor. This at-large member must reside within the territory, and there is no limit on the number of terms this member may serve, so long as he or she is duly qualified, nominated, and selected by members of the fire department and EMS. Vacancies shall be filled according to the procedure for the initial appointment of the at-large member. The chief of the fire department and the chief of EMS so serve as non-voting ex officio members to provide technical advice and support to the executive board. So we have Phil Chandler from the EMS. He's the chief. Phil, how long have you been EMS chief?
32 years.
32 years. And Bruce Hanson is the fire chief. How long have you been on the fire department?
3 years now.
As chief.
Chief.
How many years have you been in the fire service?
Since 2003.
Okay.
So, 20-some years.
So we appreciate both of you guys being here for that technical support and advice. It says that all participating units must designate their voting member by January 15th of each calendar year, except in the year that the territory is established. And the voting members must be designated within 30 days of the territory being established by the participating units. Our effective date for the territory was July 1, and all participating entities have made their designations. So that was just a quick kind of framework for how everyone serves on this board. We also have Sabrina Criswell. She is the deputy trustee for the township. She helps me with payroll and finances and lots of other things. So she's here as well. And Phil, you have a representative here.
Yeah, Katie Parker is our secretary on the ambulance.
Ambulance, okay, very good. So we appreciate everybody being here. So we're going to do, we're going to establish a quorum for voting tonight. So we have 4 of the 5 voting members are present. So that is enough to have a quorum so we can continue with business. And then we are going to move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. If I can have everyone stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, typically in this part of the meeting, we would approve the previous meeting minutes. Of course, this is our first meeting, so we don't have any minutes to approve, so that's easy. The first new business that we have is organization of the executive board. The Fire Territory Executive Board should formally elect a president, vice president, recognize the fiscal officer, consider adopting annual officer terms. The interlocal agreement also talks about having a board secretary. As the board, we can choose how we want to organize. We can decide what positions we want to fill. So at the very least, the interlocal wants us to have a chairperson, president, head of the board. So we know we need to elect that. We can discuss what everyone's thoughts are on whether we need a vice president, secretary. Through the interlocal agreement, the township trustee and staff serves as the provider unit for the fire territory. So one way to look at that is that's who is paying the bills. So we want to recognize that for the fire territory board, as the provider unit, the township trustee will serve as the fiscal officer. So we don't need to elect that position, we just need to recognize that when something needs paid for on behalf of the fire territory board, it will get paid for by me. So I will take any discussion on what positions we want to fill. If we want to go ahead and do the election for the chairperson or president first. How you guys want to proceed?
Can the non-voting members be?
They cannot.
They cannot. So it's
Has
gonna
to be
be
within the 5.
Voting members.
I nominate Kyle Hall to serve as our president.
Second that.
So we have a,
Nothing as elegant as a well-prepared ambush.
Yes.
so Kyle is nominated for president. Do we have any other nominations?
I move that the nominations be closed.
Second that.
Okay. We don't even have to vote. Congratulations, President.
Yeah.
So I will turn the meeting over to you.
Oh, okay. So obviously after we've elected president, we just need to figure out the structure of the organization, how many offices we want to have. So any discussion on how many offices do we want? You said we do not need a treasurer? Because there's a fiscal
We
officer.
do not need a
correct?
treasurer.
So-
The interlocal doesn't mention a secretary, talks about doing minutes and things like that, being responsible for that. It does not specifically mention vice president. However, my personal thought is that we should probably have someone be designated if the chair is here to run the meeting.
So is everybody good with just 3 positions, president, vice, and secretary? we're good with having 3 positions since we have fiscal officer. Okay. So I guess the next position available would be vice president. Are there any nominations for vice president?
I nominate Dave Wagner,
All right.
vice president.
Any nomination?
I'll second that.
Second. Any other nominations?
I make a motion that the nominations be closed.
Second.
Second.
All right. All those in favor of Mr. Wagner being vice president, say aye.
No competition, yeah.
Unanimous. All right. Congratulations, Mr. Wagner. All right. The last office position is a secretary. Is there any nominations for the secretary position?
I nominate Anita Chambers.
You-
All right.
I will second that.
Ah,
All right. There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor of Donita? Aye. Unanimous. All right. So we're established.
Okay, excuse me, do I need to start keeping minutes now? Or how's that, how,
It is. Start doing these as soon as possible.
alright. I've got this, so I think I can keep it on this and I'll come back organized next time, but thank you.
All right. So now that we have our office structure in place, so we've organized the executive board. We need to look at officer terms. So how long of terms do you guys think we should serve? Should it be yearly, Theo?
I think that is typical of what you see, so I have no problem with that.
Sorry,
I thought
just-
that we had a
Doesn't it
statute
say
that
we
said
have
the
to have
board
them?
won't turn over. I thought
These
there
are
was
terms
something
for the
the officers
position.
only. I'm
Officers
sorry.
only, yeah.
You are right.
Well, if the board members are nominated or appointed annually, then it makes sense that their terms of office wouldn't expire after they were no longer at the board.
So is everybody good with that? Do we need a motion for that?
Probably should have a
With
motion.
annually, is that?
Annually, yeah. So
Yes,
can I get a
that's-
motion to make the officer terms an annual?
I will make that motion.
Second.
Joey, you make the motion. Wagner, second. All those in favor of making the officers' terms 1 year? In favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. All right, second thing on the agenda for new business, adoption of temporary rules of procedure. Board needs a framework for conducting meetings. Normal process is Robert Rules of Order, simplified and public comment policy. We look at reviewing claims procedures and review agenda procedures. So I would imagine most structured businesses use some form of Robert Rules to conduct business with motions and seconds and voting rules. Is there any discussion on what framework we use to conduct meetings? Does anybody have any suggestions? Or is everybody okay with?
We had emailed out a sample of the simplified Robert's Rules of Order. It works typically how most meetings that you see, public meetings work.
Okay.
This is something that we could adjust if we feel like we need different rules. The thought was that we could just adopt this at this time.
Yep.
See if it works for us, and if it doesn't, we can change it later. It was everyone had it in their email. It's a 2-page document, so it's pretty simple. It doesn't go into a lot of detail. I didn't see anything that seemed offensive on there. So that would be, my motion would be to adopt the simplified versions of Robert's Rules of Order.
All right, there's been a motion that we adopt the simplified Robert's Rules of Order. Is there any discussion? Or a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Wagner. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, unanimous. All right. Third item on the agenda, the territory ongoing legal representation. Duties include employment matters, contracts, territory compliance, labor relations, interlocal agreements, et cetera, on the authorized engagement process. Joey, I'll turn some of this over to you because you probably know a little bit.
Phil is pointing out that we have not talked about the public comment policy that was in the previous
Gotcha.
paragraph.
Thank you for pointing it out. Public comment, obviously, that is something that we can choose to do or not do. Is that correct?
My understanding is, our meetings have to be in public. That does not automatically mean that someone is allowed to speak. However, many public
Organizations allow.
boards usually adopt some sort of a policy. It could be something complex, it could be something very simple. Phil, what does the school board do?
Typically, it has to be on the agenda for that evening, and each speaker's limited to 5 minutes with a 30-minute max. So you'd have 6 5-minute speakers to talk about any agenda item. And I assume that's very similar to what you guys have for the town board, isn't it?
We don't have it structured other than if we have a public comments, they are limited to 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
And they have to
We
reach
don't
out,
have the
get
30
on the
that's not a
agenda
bad
prior.
idea.
Well, it keeps it, by it having to be on the agenda that night, it keeps it.
Yeah, we have not.
On task.
The town council has not adopted it, has to be on the agenda, but doesn't mean that's a bad idea.
The only question is, does that limit someone who may not know how to get on the agenda?
Well, they don't have to be on the agenda. The item they speak about has to be on the public agenda, which we publish ours on our website. The school publishes the agenda on the website by Friday at 11 o'clock for a Monday meeting.
Anybody have thoughts on that?
I'm not saying that that's what we have to do, but that, it's pretty effective.
Before we make a decision on that, I'm a concerned citizen, and I'm interested in getting on the agenda. How does that happen?
That was kind of my
Yeah.
question too, is just, I worry about the transparency and the openness of it if you're limiting people to,
At the school, they email the superintendent, and the superintendent has to get approval by the president,
Okay.
which is never denied.
Yeah, I'd be in favor of just having the first 30 minutes, up to 30 minutes of the beginning of the meeting. And whoever wants to come, they can speak, and after that 30
I know, we
minutes is
typically,
closed. And we can
for
do
the-
5 minutes. I
for
mean,
the-
we still
I would do
say
5 minutes.
5 minutes max, somebody can speak, and,
And
For
just
the-
not, you don't have to limit it to the
yeah,
agenda.
yeah, to say.
our
first 30
general
minutes of
thing
the
with
meeting.
the township meeting, we usually do public comment at the end.
end.
So if someone has comments on something that was
Oh, that's
done.
true, we shouldn't do it there.
So.
Suggestions.
That's essentially what we do.
Yeah.
We go through our program agenda items and then have a public comment
Yeah.
period for anything.
Is
And
the
then-
entire
then we have
meeting,
department
is the
reports.
entire meeting
I
open?
believe that before you vote on anything, you have to entertain public comment. Sure.
I don't think so. Because as an elected board, you don't have to have public comment. Typically, most places do, just so, yeah, it looks bad. Now, if it's a hearing or something like that,
Then
or
it has to be first.
then it would have to be.
I'm just a non-voting member. I'm not a
Your 5 minutes is
member.
just about up.
That's right. So is there any other discussion, or is everybody, do we want to put it at the end then?
I would say we keep it really simple and we just
30
say,
minutes at the end of each meeting, there's a,
I don't even know that our policy has to say when in the meeting we do it. We'll just say we'll have public comment during the meeting, and it'll be limited to 5 minutes per person,
30
up
minutes.
to
total
30
max.
minutes total.
Is everybody okay with that?
Should be fine.
I need a motion for that.
I will make that motion.
All right, there's been a motion that we allow a 30-minute max period of discussion during our meetings, 5 minutes per person max.
And I'll second
At
it.
some point in the meeting. Okay, so there's a motion and seconded by Dave. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, I thought you said hang on a second.
No, I said second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dave said,
Any opposed? All right. who's it?
I did not
When I
give you.
second, I will do this. How's that?
Okay, who made
All
the
right.
motion? I'm so sorry.
Joey made a motion,
Okay.
Dave was seconded.
Got it.
There is something on here about review claim procedure.
Yeah, so currently, and I kind of forgot to say during my little introduction, we are in the transitional period for the Fire Territory Board. So from July 1 to December 31, we have been established, we're meeting, we're trying to kind of get our framework for our meetings and get things ahead, built up and ready for January 1, which is when our funding actually begins for the Fire Territory. So we don't have a budget until January 1. And so we don't really have a whole lot in terms of claims right now. Everything currently for the fire department and ambulance is being paid for the way it's always been paid for, and that will shift over January 1. But we do need to have a claims procedure and we can kind of discuss what we want that to look like. Do we want every invoice to come in front of the board and have every board member sign off on it? Do we want just the board chair to sign off on them? I thought we could kind of discuss what the town council currently does.
Well, we have elected clerk treasurer that prepares all that documentation and emails it to us. And
So you get an email ahead of time?
Yeah, we did with the claims. I don't know how you guys process it as township.
So we could do something very similar. So instead of the clerk treasurer, it'll be the provider unit, which is the township, will be paying the bills. So we'll need a way to transmit those. So I'm fine with doing an email version it goes to all the board members. Is that how you do it?
We get email copy in our board packet of every claim.
Yeah.
And then it's just a
We
consent
generally
to approve.
And then you do that during your
And then
consent
there's a
agenda.
motion to approve the
All the
claims.
claims.
We do it a little bit different from the township. That's why I kind of want to ask. Just the laws are a little different because with the township, the trustee approves their own claims. The board doesn't actually do that. So that's why I wanted to kind of check on that.
Is there a prescribed recipe that we're required to follow in the form of fire territory for the state?
There's not. We will be audited, and anytime you're paying a bill, you want to have some sort of, more than one person looking at bills and somebody signing off on them. So, like I said, on the township level, Sabrina and I have to have a system just because the laws are a little different with townships. But for this, I would think that if all the board members see every claim and then vote on it, I think that would be suffice for what we need.
Okay, so we need to vote on a claims procedure.
So,
Gentlemen, not to keep bringing, but we have given approval for a prepaid claim because since our meetings for this are the first Monday, we might not have bills, receive them, but we have given approval at the school for them to be paid so that they won't be late
okay.
prior to, like, because I know like some of ours, well, Tim just got one today. So if it would have come tomorrow, it would have been late before it came before this board. Not that that matters now, but it will.
Like I said, we really don't have anything
See where I'm going with that?
that we're paying right now. So this is kind of going up for January, so we can kind of get that in place. My motion would be that our claims procedure is that all claims are emailed to all the board members on the fire board. And then that is voted on at the next meeting during the consent agenda. So that we don't have to go through every single one. They have a chance to review them ahead of
That's
time.
probably fine for now, but I don't know if that's gonna survive its first exposure to reality when they start coming out. I don't know how many claims a month are we talking about going through with combined services?
I don't know, you're the one that's approving them right now.
A lot more than those, okay? There's a lot.
I don't think you're looking at more than 25 or 30 between both of us. I mean,
I don't think there's
fuel,
that much,
supplies,
really.
cell phones.
It'd be a little more than EMS than
Yeah.
the fire side.
Which depends on how you look at payroll. That'll be a separate payroll claim, which will already be paid before you would approve.
So that was your motion?
That's my motion.
I'll second it.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any
We
further
got till
discussion?
January to think about it.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the last thing on this item is review agenda procedures.
So typically for the township board, I'm usually the one that puts together the agenda. And if anybody has anything, they let me know ahead of time when we get it put on there. I don't know what the town council, how you usually put your agenda together.
Tim typically does.
Okay. So
I
that,
have, but Tim is doing.
I don't know that we need a motion for this. I just wanted discussion to see if everybody was okay with that we do it just like the township
You do a
board
good
does.
job with it.
Sounds fine.
Typically, I try to send the agenda out ahead of time, and we're probably combine that with the claims and everything like that into one email, kind of a reminder that the meeting's coming up as well.
So just to be clear, if there's any agenda items or points of discussion,
Email Joey.
get it to you.
Let me know.
All right.
Put it on. Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Good.
All right, anything else on that, on the second item? Moving to the third one, territory ongoing legal representation. I don't know anything about that.
Okay, so we, during the formation of the fire territory, we hired an attorney. We needed that during all of our hearings and everything to make sure that we were doing everything correct. He had mentioned to us during that he would be interested in continuing to be our attorney if we are interested in his services for the executive board. We use him for the township currently also. His name's Daniel Shackle. He's from the Geist area. And he, in my opinion, he's done a pretty good job. He's former DLGF commissioner, was there.
Is that the gentleman that's been?
He was at our meetings, yeah.
Yeah. So he had expressed interest in it. He said if we wanted him to continue. We put this on the agenda just to see if the board doesn't feel like we need an attorney. We don't have to hire an attorney. But just in case any questions come up. He had mentioned he probably would not be the type of attorney that would come to all of our meetings. It would probably be, if we have a question, we would get a hold of him between meetings.
Is there a retainer for him, or is there a monthly fee? Or
There is not. So he just charges based on
the
the time.
the time we put it out? Okay.
You send him an email, you're gonna get a charge. Phone call, get a charge.
And please spell his last name.
It's Shackle, Shackle.
Are there particular nuances to fire territories that's advantageous to have somebody that knows about fire territories?
Well, I was saying he's
as our
well
legal
versed, because obviously
representative?
he was our attorney through the process and guided us through it, and I know he's well versed in the
I don't think it's ever bad to have him ready.
I don't either, 'cause-
Depends when you need him.
Oh, no, I wasn't, we've been very happy with Hayes Copenhagen prior, but they don't know anything about fire territories as far as I know, and I don't know that there isn't something that whoever's doing that ought to know about fire territories, so yours may be the better choice.
My thought was also that since he was the one that crafted our interlocal agreement, he knows our rules, so when we have a question, he's the author of it.
Well, he acted interested and he wasn't pushy and
Yeah.
he was there to answer the questions.
He also, if you see the pictures of the governor signing the township
Yeah.
consolidation
Yeah.
bill,
Yeah.
he's in the signing picture because he was the one that
Yeah.
authored the bill that passed. So when it comes to township mergers and all that that's going on, he's very obviously well aware of those things. So I think that would help us out also as those laws continue to evolve.
I move that we retain Dave Shackle as the,
Daniel.
I'm sorry.
Daniel.
Daniel. Well, I like Dave. As our attorney on an as-needed basis.
Been a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Been a motion and a second, that we retain Daniel Shackle, what is it?
Shackle.
Shackle, as our board attorney. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, good. All right, next one on there, duties include employment matters.
Oh, that was part of it.
That was that?
That was all part of it.
Contracts, all that stuff, so that's all of that particular thing on there. All right, moving on the agenda. Next thing on the agenda is establish insurance coverage. Obviously, as a new entity, we still have to have insurance coverage. So, Jerry, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so
what
our
options are?
our current insurance obviously continues through the end of the year with the town and everything. However, I know that something that we did when I came on as trustee is we established some insurance specifically for the board.
Yeah.
Which we had not,
Several boards that I've been on.
we had not had that before. I think there's different names for this. Sometimes it's like public official.
Directors and officers.
Directors and
Insurance is what
officers.
We normally carry on.
So this would be something, and I don't know the answer to this question of whether, I think I know the answer, which is that we don't need workers' comp for the board members, because we're not paid board members. We're representing the groups that already have us. But typically, it's probably a good idea to have some sort of insurance coverage just for the board. Obviously, we're going to be starting insurance coverage January 1 through the fire territory for the employees and the operations and everything like that, and that's something we'll continue to look at. But just immediately, now obviously we don't have money to pay for this, so this would be something we would have to piggyback on the township's current policy. And so.
Who provides your insurance coverage now?
So we use the place in Newcastle.
Vinegar.
Yeah. Did they change their names though?
Yeah.
McCown.
McCown, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
McCown. Is that what the town uses?
Yeah.
So, so my thought was we could reach out to them just to talk about getting that directors and officers policy for the board. I don't anticipate there being a lawsuit, but you never know.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, and we have it on two of the boards that I've been on, we've had that, and it basically just protected your directors and officers. If somebody sues the entity that you're not, like personally, you're not gonna be held accountable personally, it's gonna be covered through that insurance coverage.
And I know there's and that's why I put employment practices liability. Since we're a board, we employ people, the possibility is somebody could sue us for unfair employment practices. So we want to make sure that that's.
What is, another thing we carry on our boards a lot of times, is sometimes you're either bonded or you're insured for theft, and obviously we have financial stuff. What is,
So
Do we have
all
a
of our
policy for that?
bonding will go through the township as the
Okay.
provider unit. So
Alright.
there's no bank accounts that are specific to the fire territory. It's not its own
So it's all
entity.
bonded.
So it's all bonded.
Township.
Sabrina and I are both bonded
Bonded,
annually.
okay.
So that should be good.
Okay.
But I just wanted to put that on the agenda to try to get a motion to go ahead and look into the cost and try to establish this
Yeah.
insurance
I
policy.
actually just did one for cemetery.
Absolutely.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah,
So all of the insurance that the town has that you will be getting, vehicles, buildings, that policy doesn't expire until March.
Mark.
So it might be easier to forget about January 1st and wait until the town's policy expires in March before you start trying to split stuff up between the town and the fire territory.
And my thought on that was, we'll obviously have probably multiple meetings with our insurance agent before January 1 to kind of know what we need to do. So I have no issue with that if they're willing to let that ride till March.
Yep.
But
So just need a motion to allow someone to reach out to our insurance company to talk about directors and officers insurance, roughly, right, or all our insurance options, but.
So moved.
Been a motion, is there a second? Been a motion and a second, all those in
You
favor?
second?
I did.
Yeah, hold on.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Unanimous. All right, let's see. Good. Receive transition operational updates. On this one, Joey, so the next item on the agenda, it says receive transition and operational updates, reports from provider unit representatives, fire leadership, and EMS leadership.
So this kind of gives me
Kind of
and
a
Bruce
structure.
and Phil an opportunity to kind of mention what's going on right now during this transition.
Okay.
Again, a lot of this is effective January 1, but we're already kind of working to get the system in place so that it's not a jolting January 1. So I know from the township perspective as the provider unit, we're getting ready to look at, paying these bills come January 1. Two things that we have done to help during this transition. We have entered an interlocal agreement with the nonprofit board for the ambulance. And we are already working with them on payroll and getting that moved over. And then we have also entered an interlocal with the town council for the part-time payroll that they do for the ambulance. So Phil's been putting a lot of hours in. We appreciate everything he's done to help make that work. And so we've had some meetings with some of the employees already to get them into our payroll system. So that's been going well. One thing I would like to say is it's just kind of really neat to see the town council, the clerk treasurer, Tim Mundell, Phil, and the ambulance board and everyone working together. It's really been neat to see everybody just trying to do what's best for the service. Egos have kind of been left aside, and people are working together so well. I'm just really proud of our community for coming together to make that happen. Sometimes when an idea pops up, your initial thought is, well, it's going to be too hard to make that happen because there's so many personalities involved. It's just too much. And from everyone involved, I've just been impressed with how willing everyone has been to work together. So that was kind of what I had. I don't know if Bruce or Phil had anything to add.
Go ahead, Bruce.
Not really. I know we gotta look at the personnel side of things, and how we kind of go about, I guess, looking at, for the amount of, I guess, cost we have to spend on each employee. We're limited some, so we're gonna start making more criteria on, based upon runs, meeting attendance, training attendance, things like that. So that's some of the things we're looking at.
I just got a couple things real quick, and not that it matters, but it kind of does, I guess. Worked out really good that the territory has no money until January, because we just spent a little over $7,500 on what was our new ambulance, the 2017, to get the liquid springs completely replaced. That was the bill I was just talking about, that I just approved with Tim. And then the 26 is going back to the dealer. It's out of service right now because it has a noise in the rear end that Hoosier Fire can't seem to find, so we've got to get an appointment made back to that, which is what it is. But then I guess I have one question, and I hope I don't need to know the answer to it, but in case I do. Since the fire territory is established July 1, should I have to terminate somebody? I've always went to the town council because they were the people doing the payroll. Now that the fire territory is doing the payroll through you, is this the board that I would need to come to terminate somebody?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
Did you shake your head yes?
Yes.
Like I said, hopefully we don't have to go there, but in case I do, I need to know where to go. That's all I have.
To build on what Phil is talking about, over the next, so we have 3 more meetings. We've got one in August, I think August 3rd, and then we have the 21st, September 21st, and October 19th. So some things looking ahead to those meetings that I think that we're gonna need to talk about is defining some of those personnel policies, looking at just putting in writing how these procedures work. What is the procedure for terminating somebody, things like that. Obviously, it's hard to back it up if we don't have it in writing, what our policy is.
I think Kane's got copies for everybody of our personnel policies, so that you would know what we are doing and how we have done. So that and it's spelled out, write-ups, time off, termination, it's in all those policies, so if you guys want those now to review them.
That would be great. My thought was we would look at those in the next few meetings.
Well, they're there. so
Yeah,
that you
I only
can
have one
review.
copy, but.
Okay.
A digital copy.
She could probably do that easier.
Yeah.
That's why she's.
Save a
Before we
tree.
leave, all these emails. Yeah, I'll take a picture. Do you want to, I can send it out, yeah. With your phone or? let me go back to my phone? I'll just send it, yeah, I'll take it. Or I can go. No, you're good. Does anybody else need a copy of all these emails?
And the other thing I want to say about that, is just during this transition, kind of my answer to everybody when questions have come up is, we're going to continue to do things the way they've been taken care of in the past until this board votes to change, do something different. So there's obviously some policies that are going to need to take place, but if something comes up in the next month or so, some of it will just have to be through the old way of doing things until we get it.
All SOPs to remain in force until changed by the board.
Exactly, so, that's the advantage of having the transition, is that we get some time to kind of work some of these things out. The disadvantage is there might be some confusion. People might be like, do we go to the town council, do we go to the fire board, those kind of things. But for anybody who's on our payroll, it's gonna go through this fire board.
All right, any other discussions on that item? Seeing none, we're gonna check that one off. All right, kind of finish things up, we'll just kind of go around and give everybody an opportunity if they have any comments. First and foremost, I appreciate you getting all this thing organized, everybody's time and energy, and again, I think we're moving in a good direction. There, like Joey said, there's gonna be some bumps along the road, but everybody's been really good to work with so far, and everybody's patient and realize that we're trying to do what's best, and so I'm excited about the direction we're heading. So as far as solidifying some things we need in our community, so appreciate everybody's efforts, and looking forward to seeing how things turn out. So Dan's not here. Joey, you have any closing comments?
I want to say again, I appreciate everyone's efforts putting this together. It's been kind of a long road. I especially want to thank Kyle. He's been on the township board. Will this be your third, fourth term, something like that? Third term. So he's been here a long time. Dave has been with the town council for a long time, and both of them were instrumental in getting the fire territory together. Danita, obviously, she's been here from the beginning with the ambulance service. We appreciate everything she's done through this whole process too. And we appreciate her being willing to serve on this board. And then I also want to thank Bruce and Phil again for everything they've done for this process. It's been a lot of work, but you guys have been instrumental in it, so I appreciate that.
All right, Mr. Wagner, you got closing comments?
Yeah, Joey's been struck by the cooperation of everybody involved in this, but everybody at this table, one way or another, is connected with emergency services. The first rule of emergency services, that everybody works together as a team. So I guess it would be remarkable to me if there wasn't a huge amount of cooperation, so, which doesn't make it any less welcome. The other thing I want to toss out as a discussion point for the next meeting, that's an early agenda item. Emergency sirens for tornado. They're a little more of an anachronism in today's world. We had one die at the Legion. We're talking about what needs to happen with that, what should happen with it, is it needed? And I'm not sure how that rolls into this, if it does. So it's an emergency service. So anyway, chew on that. We'll talk about it next month. So that's all I got.
All right, Donnie, yeah, got anything?
Just reiterate what everyone else has said. I am incredibly honored to be able to do this. I feel like I was in on the ground floor of the other one, and it's kind of unique to be in on the ground floor of this endeavor, and I'll give it my best, and if there's anything I can do to help it along for anybody. And one thing about it, Dave said he'd be surprised at people not working together. I have seen some townships and around the area that it didn't go well.
Yeah.
So I think we are a unique group, we always have been, and I'm proud of us.
All right, I guess other than that, I just need a motion to adjourn. Is there any public comment? I guess we can talk about it's in there.
I do know Tim had a cost on the sirens. It was $2,000 per siren to come and look at them, is that correct, Tim?
It was like 2,700 for two of them.
To come,
I
just
didn't
come and look
realize
for
there was still one
diagnostics.
on the water tower on the west end. I just gave them
Yeah.
6th Street into Legion, and they wanted $2,700 just to see if they could see what was wrong with it.
So, okay, so we're starting the payroll, and I'm confirmed that, so next Monday, will you be emailing me something?
If you say I will.
And that's what I was put it in the notes next.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
I think.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Next Monday,
I'll get it to you
By
on Sunday, and
Monday.
you review it and send it.
then I will review it, and is that how, just to confirm, okay?
So you do it first. It goes to him.
And then-
And
Yeah,
then it
good.
comes, okay, and I will put it
She
in.
does the working and he signs it.
Exactly, pretty much.
Okay,
Well,
But
he
you're giving
gave
me
this,
the hours.
he gave this image like he was putting a lot of work into this payroll stuff.
He always has.
But you're giving me the hours tomorrow, right?
Yes. Tuesday,
Yes, I already
yes.
sent it to you.
Yeah, because this one gets broke down the 24th to the 30th. The town pays on the 10th, and then the fire territory started on the 1st, which till the 12th. So yes, you'll
the
get that.
13th, okay, 'cause that's what we looked over, and just,
Yes, I just need to make sure I've got your email.
Which in the future, we could potentially look
Can
at,
do
our
that.
system will automatically send payroll to whatever system you use. So that is something that we can look at, instead of via email, it'll automatically send it all, so.
So with Linda, but I copy her too, as far as for that,
No, you just keep saying it.
let Phil know and you know.
Yep.
All right, no public. Go, yeah.
Just so you know, I mean, our agreement is I give you the EMS portion of the public safety lit every month. But in July, you probably won't get anything because I have to pay that last week of June out of that. So there's probably not gonna be any money coming to you in July.
So it'll start in August, is what you're saying?
It will start with August.
Okay.
All right, any other public comments? All right, just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got a motion, second?
Second.
Got a motion, and a second, we adjourn the meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right, unanimous.
Man.